And that one, Jenny, is Capricorn. I mean, just look at it. Isn't it beautiful?
The space is infinitely big. How far can we see in it?
How far? That is a good question. If man wanted, he could have lived in a flat world. But the human mind, Jenny, pushes it to cross new limits. In 1990, a scientific marvel called the Hubble telescope was launched into space, with which we can see galaxies, stars, and celestial bodies, some of which are even billions of light years away. $2.5 billion was spent on it, and it was totally worth every penny.
Fascinating. But while we aim high, aren't we overlooking the problems we need to pay heed to immediately? Man can fulfill his hobbies once done with the basic necessities. Yesterday, while walking back home from school, I saw a poor man dying. He was suffering from some ailments. My teacher says people die like him all the time. Of poverty, of diseases, of hunger. Millions don't even get potable water to drink, shelter, or even air. Though still, we spend so much on exploring space. Isn't it a rat race for some futile glory?
Now this one is a common misconception. Just hear me out, okay? Would you think that automobiles have developed because people thought of better, high-performance engines for the common man? Of course not. Auto racing brought this demand, and what you see today has trickled from these very leagues down to the access of common man. Similarly, space exploration today is not the same as it used to be decades ago. Today, the world uses many efficient technologies which are a result of advancements made in space research. Earlier, space exploration only meant go make it to the moon. A small step for man, but a giant leap for mankind. And then came the alternative thought of improving life back at Earth. Organizations like NASA spearheaded this school of thought despite disdain from it. And thus began the second era of this journey. Forward osmosis bags that have brought water to the dry and remote areas of Africa, artificial limbs, insulin pumps and CAT scans, which have greatly empowered the medical sector. Even aircraft anti-icing systems, the workout treadmills in our gyms, and freeze drying, without which food storage is unthinkable today. None of this would have been possible without NASA. Solar energy, the energy form on which our future hinges. Space research has certainly brought light to its enormous use. And remember the transparent braces you got yourself last year? Well, you owe it to NASA. Their numerous satellites have spawned an age of limitless information and communication. I agree there are sufferings in this world, most of which are immediately unaffected by space exploration. But a trade-off won't solve it. We can't compromise the future based on the present.
So, you're trying to tell me that this is more than just a science program? Relevant rocket science and not a race to superiority? Then why is our ultimate goal colonizing the space, which still feels pretty utopian?
Yes, it's still a utopia. At one point of time in history, people debated even the roundness of the earth, and we know how that came out. There have always been people who said flying was impossible, that breaking the sound barrier was a distant thought, or landing on the moon was unrealistic. Despite all this, there was a crowd of dreamers that hoped and worked to realize their dreams. I agree, it may be too early now, but it will surely be a reality someday. You might not see the light when you enter the tunnel, but somewhere deep, you might find your goal. A little late maybe, but you will. This long journey has already commenced with some baby steps. The International Space Station is a small human colony up there in the space. Looking for life forms, earthly resources, and studying the unknown has boosted our rate of development. Man's quest for improvement may seem endless and pointless, but it is this journey that holds our purpose.
I gotta say, we humans do get passionate when it comes to exploring space. I mean, look at the way you put it up.
Jenny, there's something that separates us from other species. Like animals, survival is our primal instinct. But there is more to us. We are curious and yearn meaning. Of life, of God, of heaven, and the world beyond that we perceive from these two eyes. Life in space teaches us adversity, and adversity intrigues us. We learn how to live because of that. We get to know our threshold, which gives us a kick. When explorers think about it, there are no strings attached to this dream. We peep into the vastness of the skies and see something much greater than our lesser existence. Deep down inside us, we humans live on much more than blood, bones, or muscle. We live on hope. A hope to have a better tomorrow, a future that is unimaginable today. So, do you really think we can forego our quest for this marvel, the deep space surrounding our Earth, the unique blue dot in unfathomable vastness?